Start your engines, or maybe don't, because the apocalypse of EVs seems to be upon us. General Motors, the titans of the automotive world, have apparently stumbled upon a treacherous path. They can't seem to sell their EVs. Is this the beginning of the end for electric vehicles as we know them? Join us as we unravel the mysteries behind this unexpected turn of events. Electric vehicles were once hailed as the future of the automotive industry, but recent development suggests this future may be farther off than anticipated. GM, an early pioneer of EVs, is now sounding alarm bells and pulling back on EV investments. What has prompted this dramatic shift that is sending ripples through the industry? This video will analyze the unexpected EV struggles at GM and other automakers, examining the factors driving the pivot back to gas-powered vehicles and assessing whether complete abandonment of EVs is the answer. GM was once leading the charge into the electric vehicle revolution, but with its recent decision to halt EV truck production and invest heavily in gas-powered vehicles, the company has left the industry shocked and speculative about underlying issues plaguing the EV market. Does GM know something that others don't? GM CEO Mary Barra has issued a dire EV warning, stating the company is hemorrhaging money on electric vehicles, which are facing substantial rejection from consumers. She cites high battery costs, making EVs unprofitable and complicating efforts to produce more affordable models. This prognosis conflicts with the optimistic view of an imminent EV future long trumpeted by GM and others. Barra expresses doubts price parity with gas cars will arrive anytime soon, projecting 2030 as the earliest point. Her controversial prescription is a temporary shift back to the company's traditional combustion engine expertise until fundamental economics realign. What prompted GM's gloomy EV reappraisal and strategic redirection back to gas-powered vehicles? Industry data reveals sales of EVs lagging projections as consumer enthusiasm wanes. Nearly 1 million EVs sit unsold on dealer lots as the sales pace decelerates. Affordability remains a persistent barrier, with EVs costing thousands more than comparable gas cars despite automaker investments of $66 billion in this sector. Tesla, the EV poster child, has slashed prices up to 30% amid declining sales volumes and margins. The grim financial realities of EVs are setting in. With its stock price tumbling about 40% over the past year, GM is racing to rescue itself from potential financial ruin. Has Mary Barra made the right call to hit the brakes on EVs and swerve back towards gas-powered cars? Or does GM need a more balanced approach? GM's heavy investments in EVs, autonomous technology, and subscription services have backfired, pummeling profits and the stock price. The company has halted EV production expansion, recognizing demand is falling far short of optimistic projections. Barra cites exorbitant battery expenses as an obstacle to affordable EV manufacturing. GM recently shuttered a venture with Honda to produce sub-$30,000 EVs due to profitability challenges. Automakers are learning the hard way that consumers are not yet ready to pay the premiums EVs command. GM's EV struggles are rippling through the related lithium battery supply chain, battering producers like Albemarle and Livent as forecasts dim. With demand declining, lithium prices have plummeted 70% from last year's peaks. Relatedly, Tesla just paused construction on its Berlin Gigafactory, another sign of industry turmoil. Meanwhile, surging hybrid sales highlight consumer preference for a middle ground technology. Facing harsh realities, GM is pumping billions into gas-powered trucks and SUVs which deliver profits and align with current market demand. The company is enhancing plans for larger combustion engine models with enduring American appeal. While not abandoning EVs entirely, GM is tactically adjusting to market conditions, balancing electric aspirations with financial imperatives. The strategic whiplash in the auto industry illustrates that triumphant forecasts discounted real-world consumer and economic factors. Market pivots like GM's may offer valuable course corrections. As recently as 2020, GM ambitiously slated 400,000 EV sales by mid-2024. But today, a perfect storm of factors has GM backpedaling furiously on EVs. With the benefit of hindsight, Were industry leaders like GM overly exuberant about near-term EV adoption? GM's projections proved overly optimistic on both consumer demand and manufacturing capabilities. The pullback of EV production expansion suggests the company recognizes it overplayed its hand. Industry-wide, nearly 1 million EVs sit on dealer lots unsold. GM misfired on affordability, abandoning a $30,000 EV collaboration with Honda. Tesla too miscalculated demand, resulting in massive price cuts to spur sales. Fundamentally, battery costs remain an obstacle to inexpensive EVs, keeping purchase prices elevated compared to gas cars. Lofty profitability and sales expectations discounted economic realities like high interest rates that affect car buying. GM admits falling battery costs, which enable more affordable EVs, likely won't arrive until the 2030s timeline. The challenges have been compounded by other miscues like software issues delaying new EVs. For GM, these misjudgments have brought the company precariously close to bankruptcy. But Mary Barra's decision to temporarily re-optimize GM's proven combustion engine capabilities while sustaining some EV investment provides pragmatism. The company is balancing its portfolio to serve current profitable demands for truck and SUVs while keeping long-term EV optionality. The pivot indicates GM recognizes mistakes were made in overestimating EV adoption rates. With economic conditions evolving, responsible strategic adjustments are appropriate to keep automakers financially viable. In the mid-1990s, GM destroyed over 1,000 EV prototypes, deeming them non-viable. 30 years later, GM again appears skeptical about betting entirely on EVs. With the company wavering, is consumer preference for EVs overstated? GM's abandonment of those 1990s EVs offers an intriguing historical parallel to today's challenges. The hype around electric vehicles often surpasses sober consumer and economic realities. While symbolizing innovation, EVs accounted for only 5.8% of 2022 US auto sales versus 15% for hybrids. Consumers see merits in hybrids' balance of gas efficiency and affordability. Meanwhile, the $66 billion automaker investment in EVs betting on rapid adoption is undergoing painful reassessment. Tesla, which catalyzed EV buzz, has seen its stock crater 65% from 2021 peaks. Semiconductor shortages, battery costs, and other factors continue delaying the economies of scale for more affordable EVs. GM admits prices likely won't reach parity with gas cars until the 2030s timeline. With utopian hopes confronting complex realities, prudent adjustments are wise. GM's move to increase profitable gas-powered vehicles while sustaining some EV investment balances economic viability and long-view optionality. The company recognizes complete abandonment of EVs could become tomorrow's mistake. Instead, aligning strategic investments with consumer demand and financial fundamentals can optimize automaker health. In the 1990s, GM's EV program was crushed under disappointing sales and losses. Today, eerie parallels exist as GM cites weak EV demand and profit bleeds. Will GM's latest electrification efforts go up in smoke like the doomed 1990s experiment? Important differences separate today's challenges from that 1990s false start. GM now has more mature EV technology and supply chains available. The company is sustaining some EV investments rather than abandoning them entirely, and consumer environmental awareness has risen over 30 years. Still, the echoes are informative about the gap between EV hype and consumer adoption realities. This underscores the value of GM's data-driven flexibility to align strategic bets with demand signals. And there you have it, folks, the EV market crash. A cliffhanger that leaves us all charging our disbelief. Who knew that General Motors' struggle to sell EVs would be the next plot twist in the world of electric vehicles? Before you rush to trade your electric car for a horse-drawn carriage, remember to smash that like button and subscribe for more thrilling tales from the world of automotive chaos.